What's going on, everybody? You got Bleacher Report, Walkoff live here. Xavier Scruggs, Anthony Rizzo, that's three-time All-Star, four-time Gold Glove winner, a Silver Slugger winner, Anthony Rizzo, alongside of me, and we're going to just chop it up baseball style, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Let's get it going. Obviously, off the top, we got to talk a little bit of Yankees, and Yankees obviously playing some better baseball as of recent. Really looking good over the past couple of weeks. Offense has seemed to turn it on. Pitching, starting pitching specifically, a little bit better. My first question for you is: Are the Yankees back in a sense? Like, where do you see them kind of as we get down the stretch in this last month of the season? How do you see them finishing off, and what have you liked about what you've seen recently?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the question, are the Yankees back? I don't think they ever went anywhere. Honestly, it's
Mm-hmm.
162 games for a reason, and they're going to go through their ups and downs, and they've done that with the best of them this year. It's been a roller coaster year, but they're playing good baseball now. They have these next 12 games are going to be a grind, but and then kind of finish up on the back half of September with a little lighter schedule. But being a Yankee, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Sometimes when you're playing the teams with below 500 records, those games are more pressure packed than these games against the Astros and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays coming up. So they have a great team. They're built for October. They have good starting pitching. Their bullpen is locked down, and they slug. They hit the ball over the fence more than anyone, and
Mm.
they're built for October. So I think for them, it's really just weathering the storm like they've done so well this year and just getting hot the last literally 3 days of the season going into October.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it's all about, is being hot at the right time, and still an opportunity, really, excuse me, to catch Toronto at the top of this division, sitting at 2.5 games back. You have an opportunity to win the division. Right now, you're sitting in a wild card spot, which is good as well. But anytime you still have a chance to win the division going into September, I think you've got to be thankful for that opportunity. And I like what you mentioned about the power, because that's what plays ultimately in October too. We know it's as hard as anybody, or as hard as anything, to really string three hits together during the midst of facing some tough, 1, 2, 3 starting pitchers. So I love the power aspect of things. You talked about some of these series that the Yankees will have moving forward. I'm kind of looking at the Toronto one. That's going to be one that I really circle, right? An opportunity to catch and gain some ground, and obviously maybe separate from the Red Sox as well. What are some opening, September series that you're looking at or looking forward to right now going into it?
Yeah, I like that one versus the Blue Jays. I like the one versus the Red Sox. The Red Sox have had the Yankees number this year.
Mm.
So that'll be interesting to want to see. The Yankees have to go to Boston. And then a big one I like is the Mets. They're at the Phillies, I believe, for a 4-game set. And that's going to be a good one because the Mets have had the Phillies number. So there's a lot of interesting baseball. The Mets are playing the Padres, I believe, in September at some point. So you're going to get a lot of these teams that are going to see each other in October, late in the season. So no matter the outcome of those series, it's given these hitters and pitchers looks at each other to make adjustments
Right.
to one another. So the familiarity will be there, where sometimes you don't play a team until you play a team in April and then you don't see them until October. It's a totally different team. So the fact that all these playoff teams are going to be playing each other here in September, I think is really good for the sport.
No, definitely. And as we sit right now, if we're looking at the playoff picture, we're talking about Yankees. Yankees would be going against Boston in the wild card. You'd be seeing the Mets, a team that you just mentioned, going against Los Angeles in the wild card. So we'd have some pretty tough matchups, at least just with a couple of these. And we still have to figure out what's going to go on with Seattle and Houston, both sitting in a spot to where Houston would be playing Seattle if it all ended today. So still a lot of good matchups that may decide what happens here in the future. Let's talk a little MVP, because we've got someone that's normally doing what he's typically doing in Shohei Ohtani, right? Back on the mound, being able to affect the game on both sides. But then you have Kyle Schwarber, not too far removed from a 4 home run day last Thursday, who's in that conversation. At least when you look at the MVP race, What are your thoughts on either one of those guys?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's going to be a great September. I think whoever has a better September really is going to win the MVP out of those two. And you can't really count out Soto either. Soto's been a dark horse, I feel like, all year under the radar, and he's just putting it together again, as he does every year in and year out. But with Ohtani, it just depends. Are the writers going to really factor in his pitching? He really hasn't been that big of a factor on the mound. He's only really gone 3, 4, 5 innings in his starts, if that. So I think him building up, obviously he's building up off injury, but when is that really going to come into voting factor, right? So what Schwarber's doing with all the home runs, DHing, I know he's one dimensional, but we'll see. We're going to see what September brings, and I think really whoever takes September and runs away with it will win the MVP.
Yeah, it's interesting because yes, Otani has a different category than Schwarber, but Schwarber's numbers very comparable offensively. And when you think about also, the maybe lack of production from a Bryce Harper from a Phillies side of things, this Phillies team is nowhere near where they are without Kyle Schwarber and kind of his contributions on a day-to-day factor. And what I like about his game too, very similar to your game, just a tough at bat, like a guy that gets on base a lot. It's not just a power big part of his game, but also he's going to get on close to a 400 clip as well. So always going to be a factor offensively. I want to ask you a little bit about, we were talking Yankees, obviously Aaron Boone at the helm of this team, pushing to try to get this team towards the top of the division and hopefully win a World Series. Just your time under Boone, like, I guess from a managerial perspective, what did you appreciate about him? What are the things that, you felt separated him from some other managers in a sense?
I really like how he's come out and protected Anthony Volpe this year. I think he's getting a lot of heat. The Yankees are under microscope every win and every loss. When you're winning, everything's fine, but when you're losing, it's the team's crumbling. So he's really defended Volpe a lot this year, and I appreciate that just from the outside looking in. And he always has the players back, and that's all you really can ask for. And in every single game, he's trying to win that game and puts it all on the line for that game, and he figures out tomorrow the next day. And as a player, when you're trying to win every day, it's not really not looking towards the next one. With the understanding sometimes you have to lose a couple battles to win the war, but he's in it every day to win that game and focused on that game every single day. And you love that as a player.
Yeah, I feel like you feed off of that majorly as a player. I would say the same thing for a guy that's the helm of the Padres, who I played under, Mike Schilt. Kind of that same fiery behind the guys type of attitude, support no matter what. Anybody could be talking about him, but I got my guys back. Those are things you really feed off of as a player and kind of build confidence. So I definitely rock with that. I want to ask you about some teams that have Rizz or zero Rizz. This might be my all-time favorite segment at this point because I think it's so cool. Is there specific teams, at least I'll let you kind of tell me, teams that have some Rizz that you like right now, or maybe some teams that don't have enough Rizz to maybe get themselves to the postseason?
Man, let's see. I like the Padres. I like the Phillies. I like the Red Sox. I like the Yankees. The Mariners, I think, can be scary getting in with their pitching staff, and Cal Raleigh doing his thing. Julio Rodriguez is balling right now. So there's a lot of teams with the Rizz that are going to be in the playoffs. It's really, this playoffs come October is going to be wide open, and it's beautiful for the game.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. A lot of teams with some Rizz. Are there any young stars maybe that have some Rizz or some swag that you've started to notice that you appreciate their game and that are really making waves for themselves? I know for me personally, I look at Nick Kurtz and what he's done with the A's, and even though it's a team that's not in the race, but still has, by far probably the best AL candidate for Rookie of the Year, but has really put his name on the map. Is there anybody else that you've looked at and like, man, that's a young young star in the making.
Yeah, I think it's I'm a huge fan of Roman Anthony. I mean, he's got called up with
Mm,
Boston and has just stepped in. He didn't get a few hits early on, but he hit the ball well. And I just remember seeing an interview, seeing him saying he's not worried. He feels good at the plate. And just seeing that interview alone, I was like, he's got it. And he's a Stoneman
yeah.
Douglas alumni like myself, so I pull for him even more. But he's really been balling there in Boston. And then uh, on the other side with the Yankees, Cam Schlitter, I think he's what,
Mm.
6'6", throwing 100. He's been very under the radar in my opinion, and he's going to be a huge factor in the playoffs come October.
Yeah, I love those picks. And I think the one thing about Roman Anthony that I love too is that he's shown ability to make adjustments early in his career. Kind of brought his hands back a little bit. Now he's hitting lefties that much better too. So definitely some things that you can look forward to even after a guy's been extended. He's shown you the ability to, keep doing some things, tinkering during his rookie year that have made him that much better. Well, hey, Anthony, appreciate your time, man. I know you got some stuff to get after. I know you got a pregame show and all that, man. So thank you for joining me, and make sure everybody follows at Bleacher Report Walkoff, BR Walkoff, and appreciate you, Anthony.
Thanks, Hex. Appreciate you, man.
That's it. It's a wrap.
Sick. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rizz. Appreciate you, man.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all, guys. Thanks for having me. Later.